Getting into the psychology of all this, which I find utterly fascinating, of it doesn't matter what you look at, it matters what you see. So you're looking at this chart, you have to be very careful, because if most of the charts, at least I use Coinbase Pro, so it defaults to like a really short time period. And so it's just like, oh my God, like this is all over the place.
Why do they do
And
that? Because it makes you trade more.
yes, 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 no doubt.
And you're like, oh my God, I need to sell, I need to buy, what do I need? And then you zoom out and put the 5-year chart or 10-year chart, and it's like, oh, this is noise.
That's exactly what it feels like. And I've heard people talk about that. I think it's very sage advice. When you're feeling stressed, zoom out, like literally zoom out the timeline so that as you broaden out and it's like, oh, okay. This all gets very smooth and easy to handle. Now, the best way to look at somebody's conviction around their thesis is to see what their percentage allocation of their net worth they have in said thesis. So when I started in crypto, I was like, okay, 1%. I'll get to 1%. I just don't want to be a fool. It's sort of schmuck insurance. Then as I got to 1%, I was like, well, this feels pretty good. I'm going to go to 2%. And then that's where I was about when it started to fall. And so I was like, okay, well, here's my opportunity to buy in. Thesis is still intact. Why don't we go to 5%? And so now I'm like, well, 5% feels pretty good. I'm thinking about 10%. So what is your allocation? Of course, I know this punchline, but it'll be interesting for people that don't know.
So I am, this is going to sound weird when I tell you, but I'm actually risk averse. So I own a few properties myself and I live in them. So I don't rent anything out. This is my bank, is lifestyle. So, and I like to live in nice places. So that I don't consider money that I'm investing or doing anything with. That's just buried in lifestyle. My shares in Real Vision, as an entrepreneur, they could be worth nothing. They could be worth gazillion. That's not part of it. So what really matters is your liquid net worth, the money that you've got available to invest. And I'm 100% in crypto. And I feel like I'm underexposed. So maybe I didn't start with enough cash that I should have had more in cash, as opposed to in real estate or whatever. But it's 100%, and I feel massively underexposed. Now, why can I do 100%? Because I have income. I have numerous sources of income. So I've always got money coming in. If I lost, well, you're never going to lose 100% because I've got no leverage. So it could go down 80% and it'd be back to roughly where I bought it. So I'm kind of safe in this crypto space now. I can't really lose money, but I've got cash flow coming in. So even if I did lose it, it's not going to change my life. And in fact, cash flow coming in gives me an ability to buy at lower prices. So I'm structurally set up to take advantage of the biggest opportunity I've ever seen. And I'm comfortable with that. Now, I don't know what percentage of my total net worth it is, because I don't think of total net worth as total net worth, because those are things that are never going to change. My beach house in Little Cayman, do I sell it and buy something else? I'm not going to invest in something else with it. That is the answer. Lifestyle is the answer to everything, right? We don't do anything else for any other reason, I don't think, or you shouldn't. To be rich is not a future state. To have the lifestyle that you want is the future state. And that can be anything. You can live on a shack on a beach in Nicaragua and be the happiest man in the world. Go for that. So that's what I care about. But liquid net worth, yeah, everything. And I feel underinvested. I'm desperate to, waiting for the next quarter when more income comes in to put more in, because I feel underinvested at all times. That's how much conviction I have. I've never done that before. Ever in my entire lifetime have I ever taken a bet like this.
I want to make sure that they hear, though, that you've got the income coming in, that this is not a leveraged trade. I think that that's very, very smart.
I don't have debt. This is my pool of investable savings. It's my entire life savings, because I don't count the house and all the houses and stuff as that. So I can't be forced out of it. I can't lose everything. And I've got an income that tops it up. So I can buy more, or if I get the bet wrong and it doesn't go anywhere for 5 years, I can buy other stuff. I can cover my cost of living. Everything is fine. So yes, it sounds, and I call it irresponsibly long, But it's actually not very irresponsible. It's actually quite responsible. It's just a very high conviction bet.
Yeah, this is such a fascinating time, and I'm very aware, and it sounds like you are as well. I'm very aware of, okay, by internet standards, I'm a somewhat public figure. There are people that listen, and I feel this obligation to tell people you just have to be aware of what's going on. I don't trust my understanding of investment strategies enough to tell people, hey, go do exactly this. But I like when I really think about the things that would mess with my head, it would mess with my head if cryptocurrency ends up being what I think it's going to be. And I didn't tell people to at least research it because so my wife and I end up getting just fantastically wealthy. And you have this moment where I know you've dealt with this, where it's like, do I buy an island and retire and just, check out and sip Mai Tais on the beach all day? Or do I recognize that what really matters is meaning and purpose? And so I want lifestyle. I'm with you on that. But at the same time, I want to matter and I want to help other people. And so then you come into the game and you go, okay, who am I going to help? And because of our background, we had about 1,000 employees that grew up in the inner cities. And you just see what a devastating force it is. You come to the realization I talked about earlier, which this is a mindset problem. And so we start thinking about, okay, how are we going to address this? You get in, you realize people's attitudes towards money. And that becomes one of like the key areas where I want to help people. So originally it was all about giving people an entrepreneurial mindset so they could control their life. And I really believe in that. And I think that when you think, to me is just taking ownership of your life and recognizing when you have a company, the buck stops with me. I have to figure this out. There's no way to hide because I'm either going to be able to pay my employees or I'm not. Like there's just no bullshit in that. And so you realize, okay, the market's always going to win. I have to figure out how to run this company well so that I can pay everybody. So super powerful mindset. Now crypto comes along and I'm like, oh my God, this really is this. It is a moment where all the people who are angry, frustrated, disenfranchised, this is your fucking shot. And I heard you say this. This is so powerful. Thinking about the words you said are giving me the chills. Where you said this is the first time where the retail investor, so the average everyday person, gets to front run, meaning go before the big institutions. It's always been the other way around. The big institutions take the like cream off the top for themselves, and then all of us get the leftovers. And this is the first time where it's flipped.
So if you think about Robin Hood or any of these big IPOs that have just happened, what they're basically doing is there's a bunch of VCs who've made 1,000x, 100x, whatever the number is, and have got obscenely rich, investing in something that you're not allowed to invest in because of the law, because you're not an accredited investor.